The views expressed on this program do not necessarily represent those of Revive FM or its management.
This is good morning. Welcome to Revive FM 94.0 on your FM dial with me, Ali Kamara, the Muslim poet. Today I have a special guest live from Sierra Leone. She is the PR queen of Sierra Leone, and her name is Vickie Remoe. Vickie, good morning. Can you hear me?
And just a quick location check. I'm not actually in Sierra Leone right now. I am in Ghana. So that's an update for you.
Okay, I know that you actually reside in Ghana. So I know that you live in Ghana. So I wasn't sure if you live in Ghana or free.
Yeah.
How is Ghana?
In what sense? With regards to COVID or in general?
Just in general, how is Ghana as a country?
Well, I've been here since 2012, so okay. I must love it and it must be good to me. So what really keeps me here is the level of like entrepreneurial and startup energy and activity from people who I consider to be my peers, especially women. Like the women in Ghana, when it comes to business, they run things. And I'm just like, that's where I need to be.
Congratulations on becoming the ambassador girl for Save the Children.
Thank you. Yeah, it's something that actually means a lot to me, because if you're Sierra Leonean and you're not aware and angry at the state of girls in Sierra Leone, then you probably have your priorities out of whack. The reality is that the things that we grew up thinking were very, very normal, like, you know, when our grandparents, especially our mothers, told us they got married when they were 13 or 14 or 15, we didn't think anything about that, right? It was just like, oh, you know, granny married way small, blah, 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 to big man, nothing. But the reality is that's still the situation in Sierra Leone. If 100 years ago, our grandparents, so this is just a great opportunity for me to use my platform and my voice to amplify stories and amplify stories about what really is, because I think that every Sierra Leonean needs to understand that this is about us, all of us. Mm-hmm. It's also about our future. Because if you look about it, it's quick maths, as you people say. It's very simple, right? If you have a population, 51% are women, 49% are men. In that population, girls from very early on don't have the same access to education, don't get the same access to opportunities, are told that, conditioned and told that the thing you should aspire to be somebody's wife. That's the best thing you're ever going to do. That's going to be a contribution in society. Think about what happens when that girl becomes a teen and reaches their economically active period, which is that 15 to 45 bracket, right? If you haven't already like invested in that girl's education, she's not going to be a producer in your economy, right? Which means then that our economy, in terms of who's being productive, earning the most, creating the most activity, et cetera, it's not everybody. And your country isn't going to develop economically. We're not going to create the jobs we need. We're not going to become a world leader, which we should be aspiring to be, if half of our population have a handicap. And that's really how we're operating now. And I hope that every Sierra Leonean acknowledges that this isn't about feminism. It isn't about, gender equality there. It's like really simple maths. It's about 1 + 1 = 2. And if you have 1 + 0, it's just 1. And right now we're like 1 + 0.25%, 1 + 0.25. So we're only getting 1.5 when we should be getting 2. And we should all really, really be invested in national development in that way.
Yeah, because Malcolm X said that if you educate a woman, you educate a nation. You see, so if we don't educate our young women, what kind of message are we sending out? Because women, you know, they're the backbone of the home.
It's not even about the messaging. What I'm trying to say is that it really is about economics.
Yeah.
If you look at the world today, the biggest players in the world, the biggest producers in the world are the ones where all citizens can actively participate and be producers. If we are not raising girls to be producers, right? To be employers, to be creators, innovators, scientists, mathematicians, who's going to employ everybody.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I mean? It's really just, for me, it's like economics.
100%. I think education and literacy is a big problem there, and it's something that really needs to be pushed. Like you yourself are doing a lot of work in that, and it's something that really needs to happen in Sierra Leone. I know I've got family members that got married at the age of 13, and I was like, how? And it was like, you know, they're not their dads forced them, but like the dad would chose a wife for them and say, like, you know, you're going to marry this man at the age of 13.
That is still going on in Sierra
I can't
Leone.
believe it. Imagine a young girl getting married at the age of 13. Like, what do you know at 13? You want to play with your friends, you want to dress up, or you want to go out. What do you know at 13?
That's the norm in Sierra Leone. About 30% of our girls are child brides. Actually, it's 39% to be accurate. And yeah, it just means that like we're robbing these girls of their of the opportunity to see who they're going to be before they even become. Do you understand? It's like you're interrupting their growth. You're interrupting their possibility
of what they can be. Yeah, but isn't the president's wife, Fatima Madabio, isn't she doing something that is trying to change that kind of thing in Sierra Leone? Isn't she actually involved in stuff like that?
Yeah, but what everyone needs to realize is that this is not a first lady problem. This is not the first lady's responsibility. Excuse me, there is a young child in my house who's 5 years old who needs to take this computer out of here. Olu, I'm a mom. Come say hello to the audience and then take your computer away. Because if he doesn't say hello, he's not going to leave this room. Come here, real quick. Come here, real quick. Let everybody see you, because I know that's what you want.
Hello.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, Olu. How are
up?
you? My name is Ali Kamara. How are you, Olu? You okay? You being a good boy?
Anyways, so the thing is, I think what all Sierra Leoneans need to realize is we can't delegate our responsibilities to individuals, right? The first lady is only going to be able to do so much. So for me, it's like the first lady cannot change the state of girl marriage in Sierra Leone. She can amplify the problem and say, this is our problem. She can help the government set priorities in that way, right? Using her influence. But the reality is that every Sierra Leonean needs to understand that if 39% of our children are child brides, we are doing ourselves, right? Because in 10 years, those girls are not active producers, and those girls are not going to be as economically active and productive as they would have been if they were allowed to go to school, allowed to get an education, allowed to go to university, allowed to do research, allowed to become employer. Do you understand what I mean? So it's like, we like to delegate responsibilities instead of being accountable ourselves. We
need to develop them to the best of their ability, basically.
Absolutely. Same thing for the boys, same thing for the girls. The reality is that Olu, okay, no, go, bye. Thank you. Take your computer away. This is what it means to live this life now. So yeah, she is doing her part, but they could be there 5 years, they could be there 10 years. They're not going to be able to move it anyhow if at the end of the day, Olu, no, please go and sit over there. I'm busy. I'm sorry. Take a seat. Okay, thank you. We'll do the show later. We're not going to be able to reach our potential if we continue to say, oh, so-and-so is working on it. So-and-so is working on it. Do you understand what I mean? It's like, no. The reality is that if we can't, Olu, no. Can you please give me a break? This is live. Do you know what that means? Okay, go to Gaga's room. Olu, stop. This is he loves attention because we're at home together all the time. So like he doesn't want anyone to take my time. Anyways, keep talking.
All kids do, yeah.
Pound. Okay, I'm gonna do the experiment. I will do the experiment with you at the end, okay? Let me finish.
Thank you.
Go and wait in the living room and take the computer with you. Thank you. Go ahead.
Yeah, so we, like you said, we have to develop our girls. It's very, very important. It's one of the biggest things that I see, and I know there is I think there's a lot of child prostitution in Sierra Leone, that is still ongoing as well. And I know it's right across Africa as well.
I can honestly tell you, it's not even so. There was research that was done several years ago around it's not really so much prostitution as the problem that we have that's pervasive is transactional sex, right?
Yeah.
So what happens is that it's not necessarily like girls are like lining up on the streets. It's that girls are groomed to feel olu, no. Give me 1 second, okay? Let me just
Okay.
olu, come out, olu.
While she's doing that.
If you want to advertise your business on Revive FM, then visit www.revivefm.co.uk or contact our sales team now on 07944 565616. That's 07944 565616. Advertise with Revive FM.
Turkish Kitchen. The best Turkish food you'll ever taste. We only use the highest quality meat. Along with our mixed grill platters, we serve cold mezes, hot mezes, lahmacun, and a wide selection of fish options. To order for delivery or collection, call us now on 0208 507 8822. That's 0208 507 8822. Or visit us at 41 Ripple Road, Barking, IG11 7NT. We can also take group bookings and take care of all your party needs. The Turkish Kitchen, Barking.
Hi, I'm Ian from the Windrush Help Team. If you came to the UK before the end of 1988 and are struggling to prove your legal status, I could help. You may also be entitled to compensation. I'm here to answer your questions and talk you through our application process. Anything you tell us will be treated sensitively and won't be passed on to immigration enforcement. Visit gov.uk/Windrush Help Team.
The Windrush Help Team, here to support you and your family.
क्या आपको मालूम है कि नूरा जैसी बच्चियां पानी के लिए रोजाना 3 मील पैदल सफर तय करती हैं? मिनहाज वेलफेयर फाउंडेशन को यकीन है कि आप छोटे और बड़े पैमाने पर पानी के मंसूबे लगाकर इस बहरान को खत्म कर सकते हैं। आपके एहतियात दुनिया भर के पसमानदा लोगों का म्यार जिंदगी बेहतर बना रहे हैं, जबकि अभी बहुत कुछ करना बाकी है। पानी सबके लिए के प्रोजेक्ट में हमारी मदद कीजिए। आज ही अतिया कीजिए या हमारी वेबसाइट विजिट करें www.minhajwelfare.org.
Revive FM
94.0 on the radio,
on your mobile,
and online.
Vickie, welcome back to the show. We have Vickie Remoe here live from Ghana. Vickie, are you in Accra or Takoradi?
Yes, no. Yes, I'm in Accra.
Accra, okay, brilliant, fantastic. So you was touching on earlier that girls are getting groomed and stuff like that. And I know I was reading a bit about your life, and I know that you've been propositioned quite a bit, in terms of the field that you work in. And you said that was one of the things you found really strange. You turn up at a meeting, and it'll be like a business meeting, and somebody will say, "Could you come to dinner later?" And then you get to the dinner, and then they'll say to you stuff like, "I'll fly you to Dubai tomorrow, or wherever you want to go. I'll buy you this. I'll give you champagne and this and that." And is that like something that is constant for you in the type of field that you work in, or is it just a one-off?
I don't think it's necessarily my field, though. I think being in marketing and communications makes me very visible, right? So I've had a TV show in Sierra Leone for years. I'm visible, right? I produce content. You see me a lot.
Yeah.
But it's not about me as an individual. It's that the reality in Sierra Leone is that girls and women are just not seen and viewed in the same way and on the same level and platform as men. Girls and women are seen as like, we exist for the pleasure of men. We not for the enjoyment. So even when it comes to like business, like you go for the interview or you go for the business talk, the guy, they'll listen to you, I'll be like, okay, talk your talk, girl, go ahead, talk your talk.
But they want
Yeah, they're like, this thing you are saying, You are right, my sister. Oh, you're so intelligent. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. And then the conversation eventually will take a turn to, well, you know, call me Seth this weekend, Leah, can you go out? Or I see this, or blah, blah, blah. So, like, there's just, the boundaries don't exist, right? Also because, right, there's no, well, up until very recently, there wasn't really a lot of conversation around sexual harassment. We didn't even know as women that we had a right in Sierra Leone to reject men in that way, right? Because there's also a lot of fear. Remember, we also have been conditioned to believe that we should exist for the pleasure of men. We should exist for man enjoyment, because remember, from girlhood, what they're feeding us is that the best thing you're ever going to be is married, right? Having a husband, the husband is the prize. So all of us in Sierra Leone, men and women, we've been conditioned through these, like, this patriarchal lens and this patriarchal traditional gender framing. So what you have is that we all play our role like we've been conditioned. So even with things happening to you where you're like, this isn't right, you don't even know how to handle it, because the messaging that's been put is that, like, but you're a woman. You're supposed to. Exactly. So I always say to people that, like, all of us, first of all, it's about acknowledging that the way we've been raised, the things we've been told, the things we think are traditional and customary, we need to check those things. It doesn't mean you throw everything away, but we need to question them. And a lot of the things that we need to question are around men and women identity, who a woman is, who a man is, what our roles and responsibilities are, and how a lot of those things are harmful and really stop women from living good lives and full lives. And so, yeah, I faced a lot of, I mean, the stuff.
I know you got a lot of stick for that T-shirt, which said, man is not a financial...
Yeah, I think, yes, because, again, it goes back to the gender roles, right? If you tell a man you're not my financial plan, it's like, men feel like, really, what are you trying to say? You don't need me? You don't need a man? You know, once man? You know, because for them, it's like, that's my role in your life. It's transactional. Again, men give you money, they marry you, put you in a house, they buy things for you, buy you a car, and what you give up to them is your body, is sex, it's the labor you put in the house, to clean the house, etc., etc. So it's very, very transactional. There are very few relationships in Sierra Leone, I would say, that aren't, like, structured around this, like, give me, I give you, give me money, this. Even the men who are even women who are not in relationship with men, romantic relationships, in general, when they think of men in general, whether not in brother, not in papa, not in uncle, not in paddy, it's this transaction. They want you give them money. Do you understand what I mean?
I would have thought, I would have thought, Vickie, that over the years, you know, it would have like it would have changed, you know, with the generation. How with the generation.
Yes, but what did it cause the change? What did it cause? What causes somebody to, like, change? What causes behavioral change?
I thought with the generations, I would have said the generations from before. You know, like, say for instance, I know, like, things like Bondo is still big in Sierra Leone. Do you know what I mean? I know it hasn't been eradicated, like societies and stuff like that. So I thought with the generations that are coming along now, do you know what I mean? These kind of things.
But what are the things, in order for the generation to have changed or evolved, what are the inputs that need to go in? It's education. Right? Every society that you've seen that has progressed in some way, where roles have evolved, it's education. Our education has been crap for the last 3 decades. Do you understand? And also, a lot of our education continues to reinforce the coding and the messaging as well. Our educational, you know what I mean? The content is just as patriarchal as what society. So when you go to school in Sierra Leone, it doesn't, as a girl or as a man, school doesn't change how you see women in Sierra Leone. School doesn't say, you know, men and women are equal. Men and women should have equal rights. That we all deserve to have the same opportunities. You don't learn that in school in Sierra Leone currently. It is seen as a foreign concept, as in, this is like these foreigners and these, now where you don't go, the people who've gone overseas, the people who've gone to the diaspora, where you go school, you go learn university overseas, you come. Now I'm bringing that kind of toxic freedom, talk kanaya for Puel Mareros. In fact, that's why many of you don't have husbands because of this premium. No, I know
sound like one of my aunties or my mum. You know what I mean? That's exactly what we should say. That was my one poily man. It also not man. Yeah.
Next party day, yeah, we go cancel. You say, not take this. Like, no, allow you. It take care of you. Not listen. Don't be like Vickie. She's not even married.
They making no marriage yet.
Sorry.
Listen, they making no. They keep marrying.
Man, no get for put on a house. This kind of land book where you don't go land book. So, hey.
But you see, the funny thing is, like you was touching on education. Unless the education is raised for the girls, that situation is not going to change.
It's not. I mean, it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. At the end of the day, we tell girls that they're less than boys. We don't invest in them well enough. They grow up, they then seek transactional relationships with men. Then, and it's a vicious cycle, right? Because they think that's the way it's done. This is who we are. But it's not who we are. It's just who we've been conditioned to be. And I would really challenge both men and women in Sierra Leone, again, to unlearn a lot of the things. Just question the things. Look at your parents' relationship.
Yeah, I mean, my mom got married at the age of 13.
I can always tell people then say, look at your relationship if your parents are still married. Look the way how you papa they treat you, mama. Think of their relationship. Think about all the messed up shit your daddy done did. Because if your daddy is from Sierra Leone, he done did some shit to your mom.
My dad didn't.
Sure. Go talk to you auntie where your mama can tell his story.
My dad didn't. In fact, my mom got married to him at the age of 13.
And how old was he?
He was a lot older than her.
How old was he?
I don't know his exact age because they got married like years ago, but she told me.
This is my point,
that
right?
She got married at 13 and she said she wasn't ready for it. And obviously, when a young girl gets married at that age, she doesn't know anything. So when she wants to have a life,
she was a child.
Yeah, when she wants to have a life, it's going to be very difficult. It's going to be very difficult for her to continue in that marriage and have a fruitful marriage in a big way. It's going to be hard, man. It's going to be very, very hard.
Because let's be honest. This is the thing. If a grown man marries a child, they are more like a father to that child, right? The power dynamics is such that they get to make the decisions, call, and then when the woman finally come on age, maybe they'll give them more access to decision making. But at the end of the day, that's not your man, that's not your equal, that's not your partner. Now you papa. You understand what I
was going to say that. It sounds like your papa.
That's why a lot of men treat their women like they're not picking. Like then they really treat her like for saying Nana Peking. 1 in every 3 women in Sierra Leone has been a victim of intimate partner abuse. Either boyfriend on beat her or husband on beat her. And that again goes back to, if you think that the woman is not your equal, right? You don't have to treat them as an adult. What do they do in a salon? They beat Peking. So they beat the woman back because the woman are Peking. Do you understand what I mean? No, they reward. They do it to, like, there's a lot of stuff that's just toxic about that we think is normal that isn't normal. And I say, if you want to start seeing what really is the what, look at the relationship that your parents have. Look at how your father speaks to your mother, treats your mother, listen to the things that your mother has had to endure and your sisters have endured and your aunties have endured. Do you understand what I mean? This is specifically for men. For you begin to understand the burden of being a Sierra Leonean woman. It really is a burden. Men have privileges that we do not. There are things that you just never have to think about. There are things you never have to think about that women not only have to think about, they get for navigate, they get for plan, they get for position themselves, you get for make so constantly. For example, in my business, like I can't even. So if you guys now contact me, say, we didn't ask you, can say, hey, Vickie, so-and-so is looking for someone to do X kind of work for them, right? And you send me their email and their phone number. I will never call them if it is a man.
Right.
I will never call them. I'll never email them.
Oh, if that person's in Sierra Leone, you mean?
I don't go ever. I know they call person for look for business. I know they email you for look for business, because what I've experienced so much sexual harassment and just so much improper behavior that now my rule is this: if you want me to do business for you, if you want me to do business with you, you have to make the first contact. And in that contact, I set the rules in terms of engagement, right? So two people, I tell them all, it's like people in the company, oh, Vickie, so-and-so. I'm like, no. you give them my details and have them contact me. Because when they contact me, I'm going to say, first of all, before we start on a call, please send me an email with full details and brief so I know if this is something I want to get engaged in. I have created like an entire kind of like process and filter just to be able to work with peace. So I don't get for puts myself in a situation. I don't go to people's offices for meetings. Right? I don't go to men's office. And recently I was in Sierra Leone. Somebody in our parliament called me. And say, oh, Vickie, you know, this, I see everything you're doing. You know, I want you to come to parliament and meet with me, somebody who's in parliament. And I'm like, yes, Mr. So-and-so, honorable sir, is this about, is there a bill or a committee in parliament on discussing an issue that you want to talk to me about? Is this about, you know, healthcare? And is this about an issue that you want me to come and like give information on? Are you doing research? And he's like, no, I just want to, you know, meet you and discuss. I'm like, okay, then you must come to my office.
Wow.
He never showed up.
Wow.
He never showed. So these are the things. But the thing is, 10 years ago, right, when I was in Sierra Leone, I didn't know that I had the power to say no in this way, right? So if he had called me 10 years ago, for bingo parliament, because I would have thought, oh my God, this is an important person. Maybe there's an opportunity there for me, for my career, for my this. I would have thought that it was a great opportunity to network. Right. Do you understand what I mean? But networking as a woman in Sierra Leone is a fallacy. It doesn't exist.
I think it's just a very male dominated society. It seems like we're masculine.
Very. Even the one that waking it puts then I love Sierra Leonean guys put stuff up online. They'll say they're feminists. I say, hey, Irade.
I'm reading the book at the moment by a writer called J.J. Bowler, and it's called Masculinity Redefined, where he talks about male masculinity and how the pros and cons of it, which is a really, really good book, you know. So yeah, I mean, the masculinity over there sometimes, you know, it can be the fact of the matter is that they're taking too much advantage because we are the male in the society.
Yeah, but I it doesn't have to be that way. Like for me, I'm like, yeah, those days are gone. Like I've unlearned that conditioning that told me that as a woman, I had to put up with nonsense for men, or as a woman, I had like, no. But then also I would say that while society was telling me you're a woman, this, in my own family though, I never felt like I was limited in any way by my gender. Like one of the things I feel like the perks of being Creole is that Creoles have a very long and deep culture of just like a more improved like gender equality, right? Like Creole families aren't going to say, I'm not sending my daughter to school, right? Like in terms of education in Sierra Leone, Creoles came to Freetown, they were already educated, and education was part of the colonizing mission, and they were a huge part of the education, the spread of education in Sierra Leone, period. Yeah. So it is embedded in our culture that, so when I was growing up, there was never a question that like I would not go to school. Do you understand what I mean? Like it wasn't even discussed. And I always tell this joke, like the day that I got my master's, that night, my father asked me when I was getting my PhD. The day that I graduated.
You got that in the US, right?
Yeah, I went to Columbia. The day I got my master's, my Creole father, now that you have your master's, it would be nice if you went to do your PhD. My father has never actually, while my father continues to ask me when I will go and do my PhD, my father has never asked me if I had a boyfriend. He's never asked me when I was getting married. My father has never, ever in his life said, you know what my father said to me when I was much, much younger? Huh. The joke my father used to make that I grew up with was that nobody was going to marry me and put me in their house. And I heard this from as long as 4. What he said was, listen, this is what he said. Because, Vickie, you're going to have your own house.
Wow.
Your husband will move into your own house. As I'm speaking to you today, my father has built a house for me. There's a 6-bedroom apartment in Sierra Leone that is on property my father has built that's in my name. And that is the kind of support and investment that every parent needs to give their daughters, where you're telling, so right now, the level of freedom that I have in my life, it is a level of freedom that I usually joke when I'm in Freetown and I'm sitting at our dining table. I take my shirt off after work. I sit down, I'm eating dinner. I'm like, hey, we have become the men.
Wow.
like this is how my grandfather used to come home and they used to put his, I'm like, yes, I am living like my grandfather. This is the dream, because it is a level of freedom that parallels any man's level of freedom. And that is what I feel like we all need. And that's what men should want for women. That's what women should, that we are all free to make our own decisions and to have ample choices. And that's why education is so important for girls and for boys in Sierra Leone. Because education, the way with education, they make you mind
open.
It unlock, yeah, it's like it ignites you. And it just opens you up to the world, the way you think, the way you process, and it gives you true freedom. And the thing that scares, even today, I tell people all the time, the thing that scares a lot of people about people like me, women like me, in Sierra Leone, is that they know that we know we're free and they know that they cannot control us. And it's one of the reasons where, while a lot of people see the First Lady as someone who's very, very controversial,
right,
I am so happy that I'm living in a time where she exists. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
Because there were so many people who were hoping they would be able to control her, manipulate her. They were thinking she was going to behave for them. Like
she's quite bold, from what I can see.
She's free. That is what bold. It is. It's not even bold. It is freedom. It is freedom.
It's good.
My thing is, I don't have to agree with the way another woman does her thing, but I will fight for your freedom, because it is necessary that we have women in our society that are free.
What I like about Fatima Madabio is that the fact that she is empowering a lot of these girls, and she's like, you know what? If I can do this, you can actually do it. Do you know what I mean? So she's giving them that confidence to say, you know what, go ahead and do whatever you want to do, and I will do my best to back you within the society, which I think is brilliant. You know?
Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily, I don't think that a person can empower another person in that way. Me personally, I don't think that I can empower anybody, right? What I can do is I can show you how I did it. Right? I can give you the resources for you to do it, and I can connect you to resources to do things.
Isn't that a sense of empowerment?
Yeah, but I feel like I don't feel like I do that. I don't do that. There are people, yes, that I do that for, but it's a very small group of people, my interns, my employees, people that I mentor. But I wouldn't say that I empower girls in Sierra Leone.
Why are you doing the Vickie Remoe show? You might have empowered another girl to say, you know what?
No, empowerment is different from inspire, right? Mm-hmm. I feel like empower, for me, it actually means that you have to give me the power myself to do it for myself. Somebody watching my TV show, I am not empowering them, right? Are there people that I empower? Absolutely. But for the majority of people, I don't think I empower them. I think what I do for them is inspire them. I give them a point of reference to let them know that it is also possible for you. And it is not just possible for you, it is possible in Sierra Leone. And that for me is a big thing, because we have this culture also in Sierra Leone that says that if you're successful, if you're doing well, don't tell anyone, cover it, hide it. If you have whites, cover. No, it's just like, because we believe in this thing of like, people have evil intentions, evil-eyed, and go beat you, then go do this. So if good thing they have, if you yams white, cover ram. That is our culture, right?
I know. I've kind of
problem. Go ahead.
Kind of grown up with that, but at the same time, you know, you need to celebrate what you do. You don't need to hide everything that you're doing. Yes, some people will be jealous of you in terms of what you're doing. Some might even give you bad eyes. Some might even want to, you know, do something to you. But at the same time, you know, you can't live like that. How can you?
Yeah, but I'm even talking about like beyond just like celebrating yourself, which is important. It's also important that you talk about how you're doing it. Do you understand? Like, what process? And it's why I'm very almost very transparent. I like to show people what I am doing, how I am doing it, because I know that in an environment like Sierra Leone, the reality is majority of people who've come out of the educational system in the last 2 decades, they've come out of a broken system, right? They've gone through the whole educational system, but they've not been developed. They've not been exposed. They've not been trained. They don't have skills. So what we have to do as people who have had the privilege of education and the privilege of travel and the privilege of exposure is you have to show, not to tell, they tell people how you do. You can't tell people. You have to show them. You have to be intentional about showing and teaching. So for example, I read to my son and I put out videos about me reading to my son as often as I do. I exercise. I put out videos about
seen you cooking with him. I've seen you cooking with him.
Yeah, I cook with him. So I cannot tell people you should be teaching your sons how to cook.
Yeah.
Right? I won't do that. But I'll put out videos that show me cooking with my child, because I know that the power of my power is I can influence people in that way, right? Mm-hmm. If I start putting plants in my office and I put photos of plants in my office and I start showing people my garden, I'm not going to tell them, get a garden. I'm just going to show you what I am doing. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And that for me is what I do. It's like I show people what I am doing. Mm-hmm. Those who want to lean in for that. And I see that I know people who only breastfed their children because they saw me breastfeeding.
Wow.
Yeah, I got people who contact me all the time. Like, Vickie, now because you give Pikin Bobby, make her give me Pikin Bobby. Now because you breastfeed you Pikin for 2 years, and I make her breastfeed me Pikin for 2 years. Do you understand what I mean? Yeah, Or now because you talk about this thing, I make her go try. And now so I know my power. Wow. Right. And so I choose to use my power in a way where to like guide the people who connect with me online. Mm-hmm.
But breastfeeding's still big in Sierra Leone, right?
It's not a big thing in Sierra Leone. For years, actually, what had happened is that because there was no regulation on the promotion of like baby food, mm-hmm. what was happening is people thought that it was aspirational to give their children baby food. Like, money man, that's and they give them picking there. Do you understand what I mean? So you found that women weren't breastfeeding, and it had gone down to about 30% of the population breastfeeding. Terrible. Right? And also not even breastfeeding, because it's exclusive breastfeeding is what WHO recommends for 6 months. Exclusive breastfeeding meaning you not put fish there, you not give and this exclusive breastfeeding. And a lot of people also what you get from
2 years, isn't it?
Well, they say it's ideally 2 years or more, but definitely exclusive breastfeeding for 6 months if the Pikin will take the Bobby. Because also the reality is not all Pikin will take Bobby. But imagine that this is happening when we talk about breastfeeding and you think about the fall of breastfeeding rates in Sierra Leone. Mm-hmm. Remember again that we said that 39% of our daughters are married as children, right? Mm-hmm. And child brides and having babies. So what you get actually in Barcelona, Pikin then they born Pikin. Who said that Pikin they don't land, but how forgive?
Basically, you said children have children.
Yeah. At the minutes where Biggie in Bobby full up with milk, me I'm not able. Me I'm not take this Pikin. Me Bobby they can't, because that's what you do when you're a child. You don't have the patience. You don't have the maturity. All the more reason why we don't want our daughters to get pregnant, because pregnancy and motherhood requires maturity, not just physical maturity, but psychological maturity and wellness.
Vickie, hold that thought. We're going to go to a break, and I'll see you after the break. Yeah.
Okay.
Revive FM 94.0 on your FM dial. Ali Kamara, Muslim Poet. We've got Vickie Remoe live on the show, and she's in Ghana, Accra.
मिनहाज वेलफेयर फाउंडेशन में आपका अतिया जिंदगी की उम्मीद आपकी मदद से मुमकिन हुआ। दुनिया भर में 30 लाख से ज्यादा खवातीन, बुजुर्गों और बच्चों तक साफ पानी की फ्राहमी, मुतासरा इलाकों में हंगामी इमदाद, यतीम और बेसहारा बच्चों की दादरसी। इस साल हम आपके ताउन से और आगे बढ़ना चाहते हैं। अपनी ज़कात, सदकात और खैरात के जरिए इन मंसूबों का हिस्सा बनिए। अभी कॉल कीजिए 0300 3030 777 या हमारी वेबसाइट विजिट करें www.minhajwelfare.org।
Rosia Plumbing, the boiler specialists. We do new boiler installations, full house central heating systems, underfloor heating, boiler repairs, boiler servicing, and gas safety certification for landlords. With some of the best prices in town, there's no job too big or too small for our qualified engineers. For a free, no obligation quote, contact us now on 07956 282 948. Rosia Plumbing, the boiler specialists.
Super Best Best Meze Grill, the Turkish restaurant where all our food is prepared to perfection. Our mixed grill family platters include lamb shish, Adana kebab, lamb ribs, chicken doner, lamb doner, chicken wings and lamb chops, and all are served with rice, salad, along with a selection of our cold mezes. To see our full menu, go to superbestmezegrill.co.uk. For the perfect dining setting, visit us now at 21 to 23 Broadway, Stratford, E15 4B, or call 0208 555 335. Super Best Meze Grill.
If you want to advertise your business on Revive FM, then visit www.revivefm.co.uk. Alternatively, contact our sales team now on 079 44 56 5616. That's 079 44 56 5616.
Nitro Treats, the dessert lab where your treats are formulated before your very eyes. Keep cool with our flavoured shaved ice, or chill out with our exclusive Dragon Breath Nitro ice creams. Experiment with our selection of mojitos, or indulge in our traditional faludas or lassies. Visit Nitro Treats at 210 Ilford Lane, where our nitrologists remain ready to serve. Nitro Treats. It's Nitro-licious.
Looking to get your finances in order? MR Accountants has you covered. We provide a full range of accountancy and taxation services, including annual and management accounts, self-assessment tax returns, VAT, bookkeeping, and payroll services. We ensure you're kept up to date with the latest legislation, and our client-focused approach helps us plan your business finances from savings to investments. We are MR Accountants. Visit our website at mraccountants.com or call us on 0203 432 9138.
With over 40 years experience in the industry, Plastic Carpets is the place to go for all of your carpets, laminates, linos and wood flooring. We have an established network of suppliers, which means we can offer some of the best prices in town. We offer free estimates and now even free fitting. Call us now on 0208 472 8568 or visit us at 157 to 159 Plastic Road, Upton Park, London E13 0QZ.
Revive FM
94.0. On the radio.
on your mobile.
And online.
You're in Revive FM 94.0 on your FM dial. Ali Kamara, Muslim Poet. We've got Vickie Remoe from VRC Marketing live from Ghana, Accra. Vickie, I wanted to ask you something. Tell us about your campaign, Go Woman Africa.
It's so interesting because I actually no longer, like, I created the brand back in 2013 as a direct response to like what I had experienced in Sierra Leone as a woman. I can say, you know, where I moved to Salon, because I moved to Sierra Leone from New York in 2007. Last time I had lived in Sierra Leone prior to that, I was like a child, right? I was like 10, 11, 12.
That's right.
So going back after grad school, I was there for 4 years. I really undergrad, going to college in the US and living in the US and, you know, going to high school and college, it not prepare me for Salon.
You left just after the Civil War, didn't you? Like at the age of 12.
I left, so the first time I left Sierra Leone, I was 10. Then right. 2 years later, we went back to Sierra Leone. And then in Ogichwani Asef, 1997 coup d'etat happened. And so we left then. And then that was when I left. And then I returned 10 years later. And so, but nothing, but me life overseas not prepare me for being a young woman in Sierra Leone in the year 2007. And I was there for 4 years and I didn't really, I can say I not process any of what happened to me, what I experienced at Salon with me TV show, where me best friend Adam and we started a fashion brand called Ashobi Designs. I worked for an IT company called Access Point Africa and did a lot of different things, but I not process a lot of the things that happened to me. I didn't have the tools to really understand how, why, what's the context, why is it happening this way? It was when I left to go to graduate school, so I moved back to New York, and I was like at home trying to, man, I worked really hard. Why didn't this happen? Why didn't this happen? And you realize that there were barriers and glass ceilings, and again, this thing where men were very, very comfortable offering you money if you were open to accessing it through their penis, or offering you job opportunities and contracts if basically it was like, to get this thing you must enter my penis. You had to sleep with them basically. Exactly. And that for me was coming from, I went to one of like the top 10 liberal arts colleges in the US.
Yeah.
So I was really confident in my intellectual capabilities. Do you understand what I mean? I knew that I was brilliant. I'd gotten a full scholarship from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. After I left high school. So I mean, also I get sense. So I was like,
you came back in 2013, and that's when you started you established VRC marketing, right?
Yeah, that was after I left graduate school. So everything I did, in Sierra Leone that first time, I cannot be understand. So then after graduate school, I launched my company, Vickie Remoe and Company, in Ghana. And that's when I launched Go Woman magazine, because at the time I thought, because I'd gone to journalism school, right? So it made sense that the first thing I did after that would be to do long form journalism in a magazine to tell stories about, at the time, what I thought was, like women like me, right? Young women on the continent and in the diaspora of African ancestry who were making a way where there wasn't one, because I really felt like all the things I had done, how I been able to do them, it wasn't because there was a way to do them.
How was you able to do that, being a woman?
There was no way. Basically, it was like, so I said a go woman is the kind of woman who finds a way where there isn't one. When I say that there is no way, like there was no way.
No, there is a way, but because you're very determined, very intelligent, and you know what I mean.
What I mean is that somebody hasn't created the path for you. That's what I mean. That what you're going to meet is a block, right? And my thing was like, as a go woman, I'm gonna go over this block, I'm gonna go through this block, but I'm gonna get to the other side.
You're always gonna meet somebody that's gonna help you get over that block. 100%.
Yeah. I've never actually, I can tell you right now in Sierra Leone, my entire time in Sierra Leone, engaging with my work, I cannot say there's any one person that's ever given me an opportunity that I didn't work my ass off for. I've never gotten a contract because somebody was my friend. Somebody was my family member, even though people think that the things I've been able to do in Sierra Leone, like they're really pure. Like even sometimes I'm like, hey, is this my life? What? Because to see an ad in the newspaper, right? An ad in the newspaper, apply for the gig, never go to a meeting, never call anybody, never discuss nothing. Apply on the internet, government contract. I keep talking about this story and people think it's a joke. Apply for a government contract within the Ministry of Agriculture, a project that's being funded by the UN, what is it? What are they? It's like the organization that does agriculture, because it's about the agricultural value chain development project in Sierra Leone. I applied for that project today, and then I won the contract. I said, hey, is this Sierra Leone? No way. But that's because the only way I've ever done business in Sierra Leone is on the up and up. I'm not looking for shortcuts. It's not because I do not have weight, because right now I am somebody. You don't want to acknowledge it. You know what? I am somebody. I matter. Whether you like it or not, I matter. And I know who I am. I have access to everybody in Sierra Leone. There's nobody in Sierra Leone I can tell you that I don't have an access to. Fantastic. But I refuse to use my privilege in that way, because having that access is privilege. Because the thing is, proximity to power is not power. Right? If you get for go through pausing, forget access, for do the work, forget the business, that's not power. It is proximity to power. And a lot of people confuse that. And when you build a business or you build a brand based on personal relationships in that way, the minute people they commot day. That is for you. Also, what you've done is you've created a relationship of patronage, meaning that person now has something over you. Do you understand? That time now where I go one tweet, person go call me, say, hey, oh mommy, remember that contract so I give you? Not tweet so again.
Basically, what she just said, listeners, is that the contract that the person gave her, don't tweet in a negative way again. That's
yes, but this is what happens when you use patronage to access opportunities, right? When you go through your uncle, your auntie, your cousin, your this, they have leverage over you, because now they pull, you got to pay the piper. And in Sierra Leone, that means that they next 10 backs on say you in a position, then go able call you, say, well, give somebody contracts. And you have to do it now, or go do this thing, or do this, or say this or that, because they've done it for you. There is not a single, in my entire career, there is not a single person in our entire community that can say, I did this for Vickie Remoe, so now let me call her and they don't even think about it. It doesn't mean that people have not been kind or generous to me. They have. What I am saying is that for the things that were competitive, for the things that I needed to follow a process, I followed the due process. For the things that I needed to compete for, I always competed for. So there's no like.
You're very hard worker. How did it feel in 2019 when you was listed as one of Africa's 100 most influential women by Young Africa's Advanced Media?
I don't know these things. You know, what I tell people is that like. So before I was 30, I'd already spoken at Harvard Business School. I've already spoken at Wharton Business School. I'd spoken at the New York Africa Forum. I'd been on Euronews. I've been interviewed by, I've gotten press. You know what I learned?
Mm-hmm.
I learned that publicity. Yeah. When you don't have money in your accounts, it's cheap publicity. Listen, I have my brother. I will tell you, half of my blood is Nigerian blood. My ancestors are Yoruba. Let me tell you.
I think mine is as well, because a lot of the ancestors from Sierra Leone have got a bit.
No, my ancestors are Yoruba and Timni. Those people like money. So me, I love money. So you can put me in a million lists if you want. Top this, top that, top that. But the list that matters to me the most is my bank account. Fantastic. So the thing that goes to my head is when I check my balance, I say, hey, number. All these other things, as my friend Manifesto says, like for Shege, like it's not for me.
I know you're quite humble, but these are some of the awards you've been given.
No. I am not humble. Don't please. I am not a humble person.
In my eyes, you are. You're not.
No. Humility. No. We are not humble people. I am very braggadocious. Not even humble brag. I am braggadocious. But what I'm trying to say is that when people put you on a list, right, and say, "Oh, we see you as this, we see you as that," it's nice, right? But it don't pay the bills, right? It doesn't necessarily mean I'm substantive. It just means that they see me, and it's easier to see me because this is my work, right? I'm in comms, I'm in media. You're going to see me, right? Am I the most influential woman in Sierra Leone? Absolutely not. Am I the most important woman in Sierra Leone? Absolutely not. And whether I am or not is of no value to me as an individual, because the thing that's most important to me is the impact that I make in the places that I decide I want to make them. And for right now, it's with my employees and my interns. That for me is like, you know, reading their stories that they write, editing it, and telling them like, please, I don't want to see this nonsense. Like they know, that for me is what's important. And then ultimately, my goal in life is to make Sierra Leone famous. And that means, you know, amplifying our stories, amplifying the excellence, the products, everything that is Sierra Leonean, both local and global, that is excellent. I want to amplify it. That's my goal. That's when I know that I would have reached.
I'm with you on that. Definitely. I'm with you on that. Vickie, we could absolutely talk forever. We've actually come to the end of the show.
Don't bring a talk show host to your show to talk. They are just going to talk. It's like I'm a professional talker.
That's what you need. That's exactly what you need. It makes it more interesting. For some people, it's very difficult to get words out of them. For yourself, it's quite easy to get the words out of you. But it's been amazing having you on the show today.
Thank you so much for having me.
We're going to do this again another time. Because there's absolutely so much going on, and there's so much I want to know about Sierra Leone that I don't know. Are you going to host me? Are you going to host me when I come to Freetown?
Next time you won't bring me on your show. If you want to know more, I will send you an invoice for an hourly consultation. Okay, that's how I roll.
No problem. But are you gonna host me when I come to Sierra Leone?
I'm not in Sierra Leone. I said. When are you planning on coming?
Maybe, I don't know, maybe next year sometime or the year after.
Next time I'll be in Sierra Leone is most likely going to be in April 2021 because Sierra Leone is turning 60. And if I'm really, really lucky and blessed, I want to produce the first ever like kites festival in Freetown because, you know, kites were such a big part of our culture as kids.
Absolutely.
And we lost it. And I really just want to bring that back. And so my goal for April 2021 is like,
love it.
Have the clients.
One last question. Who was Sierra Leone's best president? Past.
Sir Milton, but he was Prime Minister.
Sir Milton. Oh, okay.
Yes, he's the person that I think every Sierra Leonean should look for. Both, whether you're a person in government or a citizen, if you want to know how to, if you really want to know how to be a good Sierra Leonean, how to uphold the values, our national values, which are freedom, unity, and justice.
Mhm.
If you really want to know how to like position Sierra Leone in the world, you look no further than Sir Milton, because he was the sauce. He inspired me greatly.
Vickie, it's been amazing having you on the show. Thank you for coming on. I'm gonna get at you very, very soon. Please give my love to Ghana and to Sierra Leone and to the people of Sierra Leone. It's been amazing having you on the show.
Thank
my
you
regards
so
to your family. Let's pray for Nigeria. As you know, they've got a problem going on in Nigeria with the SARS. So let's pray for them. And thank you for coming on the show. It's been absolutely amazing. You've been on Revive FM 94.0 on your FM dial with Ali Kamara, Muslim poet. Vickie Remoe from VCR Marketing. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye, Vickie.